Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's get started. Let's dive into chapter 2. But after this, when there was a festival of the Lord, and a good dinner was prepared in Tobias's house, he said to his son, "Go and bring some of our tribe that fear God to feast with us." And when he had gone, returning, he told him that one of the children of Israel lay slain in the street. And he forthwith leaped up from his place at the table, and left his dinner, and came fasting to the body. And taking it up, carried it privately to his house, that after the sun was down, he might bury him cautiously. And when he had hid the body, he ate bread with mourning and fear, remembering the word which the Lord spoke by Amos the prophet, "Your festival days shall be turned into lamentation and mourning." So when the sun was down, he went and buried him. Now all his neighbors blamed him, saying, "Once already commandment was given for thee to be slain because of this matter, and thou didst scarce escape the sentence of death, and dost thou again bury the dead?" But Tobias, fearing God more than the king, carried off the bodies of them that were slain, and hid them in his house, and at midnight buried them. Now it happened one day that being wearied with burying, he came to his house, and cast himself down by the wall, and slept. And as he was sleeping, hot dung out of a swallow's nest fell upon his eyes, and he was made blind. Now this trial the Lord therefore permitted to happen to him, that an example might be given to posterity of his patience, as also of holy Job. For whereas he had always feared God from his infancy, and kept his commandments, he repined not against God because of the evil of blindness had befallen him, but continued immovable in the fear of God, giving thanks to God all the days of his life. For as the kings insulted over holy Job, so his relations and kinsmen mocked at his life, saying, "Where is thy hope, for which thou gavest alms, and buriedst the dead?" But Tobias rebuked them, saying, "Speak not so, for we are the children of the saints, and look for that life which God will give to those that never change their faith from him." Now Anna his wife went daily to weaving work, and she brought home what she could get for their living by the labor of her hands, whereby it came to pass that she received a young kid, and brought it home. And when her husband heard it bleeding, he said, "Take heed, lest perhaps it be stolen. Restore ye it to its owners. For it is not lawful for us either to eat or to touch anything that cometh by theft." At these words his wife, being angry, answered, "It is evident thy hope is come to nothing, and thy alms now appear." And with these and other such like words she upbraided him. Okay, now let's go back to the first verse 2. So basically Tobias was having a holiday dinner, kind of like imagine if we were having a Christmas dinner. In the second verse, it says in the Revised Standard Version, Catholic Edition, "Upon seeing the abundance of food, I said to my son, Go and bring whatever poor man of our brethren you may find who is mindful of the Lord, and I will wait for you." Which I do think could be something our Lord was referencing when he spoke in the Gospel of Luke. Luke chapter 14, in verses 13 through 14. "But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, and the blind. And thou shalt be blessed, because they have not wherewith to make thee recompense. For recompense shall be made thee at the resurrection of the just." Verse 3, one of the corporal works of mercy is to bury the dead. Consider how Jesus' body was buried thanks to Saint Joseph of Arimathea asking Pilate for the body. Verse 8, you can be doing the right thing by trying to be holy and compassionate, and yet others will think you're a fool. Where can we see that being done nowadays? Here's one modern day example of trying to live holy, and others might speak bad about that person or think horrible thoughts. If someone is waiting until marriage to have marital relations, for example, others might think and criticize that person and try to reason them out of doing that. And sadly so. Verse 9, Tobias is reminding me of the prophet Daniel, who, knowing the law that if he should pray to any god or man other than the king, he would be cast into the den of lions. Yet he still chose to pray to his God. Verse 12, James 5, verse 10 through 11. Take, my brethren, for an example of suffering evil, of labor and patience, the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. Behold, we account them blessed who have endured. You have heard of the patience of Job, and you have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is merciful and compassionate. Verse 18, I'm reminded of chapter 11 in Hebrews. I recommend, if you can, read or listen to the whole thing, the whole chapter. I'll read some, so hopefully you get what I'm saying. You get what I mean. By faith he that is called Abraham obeyed to go out into a place which he was to receive for an inheritance. And he went out not knowing whither he went. By faith he abode in the land, dwelling in cottages with Isaac and Jacob, the co-heirs of the same promise. For he looked for a city that hath foundations, whose builder and maker is God. All these died according to faith, not having received the promises, but beholding them afar off, and saluting them, and confessing that they are pilgrims and strangers of the earth. By faith Moses, when he was grown up, denied himself to be the son of Pharaoh's daughter, rather choosing to be afflicted with the people of God than to have the pleasure of sin for a time, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures of the Egyptians, for he looked unto the reward. Okay, that's it for chapter 2. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.